Which one of you bitches is my mother?
Before DVR, before streamings, hell, before binge watching was even thought of, there was the miniseries. These weren't just TV shows, they were events. If you missed an episode, you were begging your friend to tell you what happened, and if they were a true friend, they reenacted the entire thing so you wouldn't be lost. In the 1980s, miniseries were must-watch television, pulling in tens of millions of viewers and sparking nationwide conversations. And today, we're counting down the top 10 miniseries of the 1980s, the shows that had us glued to the screen, canceling plans, and hushing our families when they dared to talk during the best parts. And yes, before you ask, V and North and South are definitely on this list because, well, duh. But be sure to stick around for number 2. That was the one that made us double check our door locks at night. Now, if you love 80s TV as much as we do here at Remember When, hit that like button and subscribe for more trips down memory lane. Now, grab a tab, microwave some popcorn, and let's dive in. Kicking off our list is The Winds of War, a 7-part World War II drama based on Herman Wouk's novel. Starring the legendary Robert Mitchum as naval officer Victor Pug Henry, this series took us from the rise of Nazi Germany to the attack on Pearl Harbor. With a budget of $40 million, astronomical for 1983 television, The Winds of War was an epic production. While critics initially questioned casting the 65-year-old Mitchum as a character written as 40, his gravitas carried the 18-hour saga, and let's be honest, when you're spending 7 nights watching World War II unfold, you need someone with Mitchum's world-weary face leading the charge. The star power didn't stop with Mitchum though. Ali MacGraw, Jan Michael Vincent, already a star from Airwolf, and Sharon Gless appeared before her Cagney and Lacey fame. The miniseries was so successful that it spawned an even longer sequel, War and Remembrance, which aired in 1988. Forbidden Love Story. The Thorn Birds was the miniseries event of the 80s. Starring Richard Chamberlain and Rachel Ward, it told the passionate, heartbreaking story of a priest and the woman he loved. Based on Colleen McCullough's best-selling novel, this 10-hour ABC miniseries cost $21 million and was filmed in California and Hawaii, despite being set in Australia, a decision that infuriated Aussie viewers but didn't stop them from watching. Richard Chamberlain, already dubbed the king of the miniseries after Shogun, cemented his reign as Father Ralph Day Precassor, torn between his vows to the church and his love for Maggie Cleary. The chemistry between Chamberlain and 23-year-old newcomer Rachel Ward was so intense you could feel it through the screen. If you weren't rooting for a priest to break his vows by the 3rd episode, were you even watching television in the 80s? The Thorn Birds remains one of the highest-rated miniseries in television history. It walked away with 6 Emmy Awards and launched Rachel Ward to stardom. Next up is North and South, aka Gone with the Wind for the primetime crowd. This Civil War saga was one of the biggest TV events of the decade. It had romance, action, betrayal, and Patrick Swayze looking dreamier than ever. Based on John Jake's trilogy of novels, this ABC miniseries assembled what can only be described as the 1980s version of The Avengers. Patrick Swayze, Kirstie Alley, David Carradine, Gene Kelly in a small but memorable appearance, future Star Trek #1 Jonathan Frakes, and even a young Forrest Whitaker. It was like someone raided Hollywood with a giant butterfly net and caught every available actor. Spanning 12 episodes over 3 separate miniseries between 1985 and 1994, North and South featured some of the most expensive battle sequences ever filmed for television. While history buffs appreciated the attention to period detail, what really kept viewers coming back night after night was the smoldering romance between Swayze's Southern gentleman Ori Main and Leslie Ann Downs' Madeline. Their star-crossed love story across enemy lines gave us the Civil War version of Romeo and Juliet, just with more hoop skirts and cannon fire. While the original North and South was a ratings powerhouse with over 40 million viewers per night, its sequels couldn't quite recapture the magic. By the time Book 3 finally aired in 1994, the miniseries format was fading and it drew just a fraction of the original audience. One of the most ambitious miniseries of the decade, Shogun was a cultural phenomenon. Starring Richard Chamberlain, it brought the world of samurai and feudal Japan into American living rooms. It had sword fights, forbidden romance, and enough political intrigue to put House of Cards to shame. Based on James Clavell's novel, this NBC production was the first American television show filmed entirely in Japan, with a substantial budget that reflected the network's commitment to the project. Richard Chamberlain starred as English navigator John Blackthorne, a character based on the real English samurai William Adams. The role transformed Chamberlain from a former TV doctor into a legitimate dramatic actor and miniseries superstar. Shogun wasn't just a ratings hit, it was a cultural touchstone that sparked America's fascination with Japanese culture. NBC used subtitles instead of dubbing the Japanese dialogue, something revolutionary for 1980s TV that showed respect for both the story and the viewers. If you're enjoying our countdown so far, take a second to hit that like button and subscribe. We've got more epic miniseries coming up. This 4-part epic told the story of the Jewish rebellion against the Romans at Masada. Starring Peter O'Toole and Peter Strauss, it had incredible battle sequences, political drama, and one of the most intense final acts in miniseries history. Filmed on location in Israel, Masada employed hundreds of crew members and thousands of extras to recreate this legendary last stand. Peter O'Toole delivered a nuanced performance as Roman commander Flavius Silva, earning him an Emmy nom. The role showcased O'Toole's range as he portrayed a man torn between duty to Rome and admiration for his Jewish adversaries. The miniseries won numerous technical Emmys and the Golden Globe for Best Miniseries. Its unflinching portrayal of the Jewish defender's final stand at Masada remains one of television's most powerful moments. Now, who's ready for some 80s style scandal? Lace was a glossy, glamorous soap opera miniseries about a famous actress trying to uncover which of 3 women was her mother. Think Dynasty, but with even more dramatic gasps and secret affairs. Based on Shirley Conran's best-selling novel, Lace gifted pop culture with one of the most quoted lines in television history, as Hollywood star Lily confronts 3 former school friends with the iconic questions: "Which one of you bitches is my mother?" The role was played by Phoebe Cates, who was known for her memorable pool scene in Fast Times at Ridgemont High the year before, but this role proved she could carry a dramatic series. Filmed across European locations with a substantial budget, Lace epitomized 1980s excess. The production spared no expense on designer wardrobes, luxury locations, and over-the-top glamour. Lace was a ratings success, drawing millions of viewers across 2 nights. It was successful enough to spawn a sequel, Lace 2, the following year, though the follow-up failed to capture the original's appeal. Now, technically, The Day After isn't a traditional miniseries, since it aired as a single event, but leaving it off this list would be like forgetting to invite your weird uncle to Thanksgiving. Uncomfortable, but impossible. This ABC special presentation depicted the effects of a full-scale nuclear war on residents of Lawrence, Kansas. With a cast including Jason Robards, Jo Beth Williams, and John Lithgow, it became a cultural moment that transcended television and influenced actual Cold War policy. Director Nicholas Meyer fought network censors to include realistic depictions of radiation sickness and mass death. The resulting film was so disturbing that ABC set up a 1-800 hotline for traumatized viewers because nothing says family entertainment like a nuclear holocaust helpline. The film drew a staggering 100 million viewers, nearly half the American population at the time. Even President Ronald Reagan watched it and later cited the film as influencing his nuclear disarmament talks with the Soviet Union. How many Netflix shows can claim they helped prevent nuclear war? I'll tell you, 0. Now, before true crime documentaries dominated Netflix, there was The Deliberate Stranger, the miniseries that made America collectively check if their doors were locked. This 1986 NBC production told the story of serial killer Ted Bundy, with heartthrob Mark Harmon taking the dramatic leap from St. Elsewhere doctor to charming psychopath. Watching the guy women had been swooning over transform into one of America's most notorious killers was a television moment that had viewers sleeping with the lights on. The 4-hour, 2-part miniseries was based on the book by Seattle Times reporter Richard W. Larson, who covered the case as it unfolded. The production aired just months before Bundy's final confessions and execution, giving it an eerie relevance. Critics were stunned by Harmon's performance, with the New York Times calling it the role of his career. The Deliberate Stranger helped establish the template for true crime dramatizations that continues today, from American Crime Story to Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile. And now finally, we're at our number 1 miniseries, and it's V. Yeah, V. The sci-fi miniseries so wildly popular it spawned a sequel, a TV series, and more lizard people paranoia than your average conspiracy forum. Created by Kenneth Johnson, this NBC phenomenon began as a 4-hour miniseries in May of 1983, with a sequel, V: The Final Battle, arriving in 1984 to wrap up the original storyline, followed by a weekly TV series that saw diminishing returns. The premise was simple but effective. Seemingly friendly aliens arrive on Earth offering advanced technology, but they harbor a sinister secret. They're reptilian creatures beneath their human disguises. The image of beautiful alien leader Diana, played with delicious villainy by Jane Badler, unhinging her jaw to swallow a guinea pig whole, became one of the most shocking moments in 1980s television. Talk about a dinner scene the whole family won't forget. A gorgeous woman unzipping her human suit to reveal scaly reptilian skin underneath. While on the surface a sci-fi thriller, V was actually a thinly veiled allegory about fascism with clear parallels to Nazi Germany. Plus, it gave us the valuable life lesson that you should never trust someone who refuses to eat in front of you. They might be saving room for guinea pig. With groundbreaking special effects and a perfect blend of sci-fi, horror, and political commentary, V captured the imagination of millions of viewers. The franchise has been rebooted twice, but neither recaptured the cultural impact of the original. The series also influenced later sci-fi franchises like The X-Files, which borrowed heavily from V's themes of alien conspiracy. And there you have it, our picks for the top 10 miniseries of the 1980s. So which of these miniseries did you watch, and which ones deserve a remake? Do you agree with our rankings, or did we commit television sacrilege by leaving out your favorite? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more nostalgic deep dives into classic TV. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.